नेक्स्ट चैप्टर है इंडियन क्लाइमेट। फोर्थ चैप्टर ज्योग्राफी एंड डिजास्टर का इंडियन क्लाइमेट। करेक्टरिस्टिक या फीचर्स ऑफ इंडियन क्लाइमेट। करेक्टरिस्टिक्स या फीचर्स ऑफ इंडियन क्लाइमेट। तो इसका पहला करेक्टरिस्टिक्स या फीचर्स ऑफ इंडियन क्लाइमेट है ज्योग्राफिक डाइवर्सिटी varied due to location, altitude, proximity to sea and local relief. Geographic diversity में varied due to location, altitude, proximity to sea and local relief. Multiple season divided into winter, summer, monsoon and six based on subtle weather. तो मल्टीपल सीजन में लिखेंगे डिवाइडेड इनटू विंटर समर मानसून एंड सिक्स बेस्ड ऑन सबटल वेदर. सीजनल विंड्स रिवर्सल. सीजनल विंड रिवर्सल. विंड्स शिफ्ट डायरेक्शन बिटवीन विंटर एंड समर. विंड शिफ्ट डायरेक्शन बिटवीन विंटर एंड समर. मॉनसूनल rainfall majority of annual rainfall 80% occurs during the summer monsoon. Majority of annual rainfall 80% occur during the summer monsoon. Pressure systems influence temperature with summer creating low pressure area. Influence temperatures with summer creating low pressure area. Natural calamities prone to floods, drought and weather related disaster. Natural calamities prone to flood, drought and weather related disaster. Jet stream influence upper air circulation pattern including the westerly jet stream. Latitude variation. Southern regions are hot due to proximity to the equator. Southern regions are hot due to proximity to the equator, while northern area experience colder winter in the temperate zone. Northern area experience colder winter in the temperate zone. फैक्टर्स डिटरमाइनिंग द क्लाइमेट ऑफ इंडिया. फैक्टर्स डिटरमाइनिंग द क्लाइमेट ऑफ इंडिया. पहला फैक्टर है लोकेशन एंड रिलीफ. लोकेशन एंड रिलीफ के अंदर सब हेडिंग है हिमालयन माउंटेन्स. हिमालयाज ब्लॉक कोल्ड आर्कटिक विंड्स इन्फ्लुएंसिंग क्लाइमेट. हिमालयाज ब्लॉक कोल्ड आर्कटिक विंड्स इन्फ्लुएंसिंग क्लाइमेट. सेकंड है लैंड एंड वाटर डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन. Heating of land and sea creates distinct air pressure zones. Coastal proximity. Coastal area have moderated temperature due to sea influence. Coastal areas have moderated temperature due to sea influence. Altitude. Temperature decrease with elevation as air cools during ancient. Altitude temperatures decrease with elevation as air cools during ancient. Varied reliefs. Diverse topography impacts temperature, air pressure, wind pattern. Diverse topography impacts temperature, air pressure and wind patterns. Air pressure and winds. Temperature, elevation and earth rotations affect air pressure. Temperature, elevation and earth rotation affects air pressure. Jet streams. Upper level wind current redistribute heat and moisture globally. Jet streams. Upper level wind current redistribute heat and moisture globally. Air masses. Different air masses influence seasonal weather with cyclones and monsoon affecting rainfall distribution. Different air masses influence seasonal weather with cyclone and monsoon affecting rainfall distribution. Indian monsoon. The term monsoon is derived from the Arabic word mausam meaning season. The term monsoon is derived from the Arabic word mausam meaning season. It is global phenomenon caused by seasonal wind reversal. It is a global phenomenon caused by seasonal wind reversal. The thermal theory of monsoon. Halley's thermal theory and attributes the Indian monsoon to the uneven heating of land and sea caused by the sun's apparent northward movements. Halley's thermal theory attributes the Indian monsoon to the uneven heating of land and sea caused by the sun's apparent northward movements. Halley's theory explains the mechanism as follows: solar shift, intense heating, low pressure system, monsoon onset. Solar shift. Sun moves northward after March equinox, increasing radiation. Sun moves northward after March equinox, increasing radiation. Intense heating. Heating creates a large low pressure belt from northwest plain to east coast. Heating creates a large low pressure belt from northwest plains to east coast. Low pressure system draws moisture laden air masses from ocean. Low pressure system draws moisture laden air masses from oceans. Monsoon onset. Inflow of air masses marks the beginning of monsoon season. Inflow of air masses marks the beginning of monsoon season. Origin of Indian monsoon. Origin of Indian monsoon. Jet stream. The Himalayan Tibetan plate. El Nino southern oscillation. पहला है jet stream. Subtropical jet stream. Subtropical jet stream weaken and shift north, allowing monsoon winds to move northward and bring rains. Weaken and shift north, allowing monsoon winds to move northward and bring rain. Tropical easterly stream. Tropical easterly stream guides moisture-laden depression from the Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea, influencing rainfall patterns. Guides moisture-laden depression from the Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea, influencing rainfall patterns. Subtropical westerly jet stream. Subtropical westerly jet stream play a role in winter rainfall by bringing western cyclonic disturbance. The Himalayas and Tibetan Plateau. Heating of these landmasses initiates the monsoon circulation with clockwise air movement and creates the foundation for both the tropical easterly jet stream and the Central Asian westerly jet stream. Heating of these land masses initiating the monsoon circulation with clockwise air movement and creates the foundation for both the tropical easterly jet stream and the Central Asian westerly jet stream. El Nino southern oscillations. El Nino southern oscillation. El Nino. Warmer Pacific water during El Nino lead to drier condition and deficient monsoon rainfall in India. Warmer Pacific water during El Nino leads to drier condition and deficient monsoon rainfall in India. La Nina. La Nina typically brings stronger than normal monsoon rainfall to India. La Nina typically brings stronger than normal monsoon rainfall to India. Jet stream. Fast moving air currents in the upper atmosphere, approximately 6 to 9 miles above Earth's surface, characterized by strong west to east winds. Jet stream result from Earth uneven heating, creating temperature differences between air masses. Factors influencing flow. Factors influencing flow. Land masses, Coriolis effect. Land masses may create friction causing jet stream to meander. Create friction causing jet stream to meander. Coriolis effect deflects air masses, shaping the curved path of jet stream. Deflect air masses, shaping the curved path of jet stream. K features: flow and location, path, wind speed, seasonal shift. तो फ्लो एंड लोकेशन में लिखेंगे टिपिकली बिटवीन पोल्स एंड 20 डिग्री latitude in both hemisphere. Typically between poles and 20 degree latitude in both hemisphere. Path. Wavy pattern influenced by atmospheric condition. Wavy patterns influenced by atmospheric condition. Wind speeds, high speed averaging 75 mph in winter and 30 mph in summer. Seasonal shift. Winter position allows southern Himalayan slopes and summer shift north due to Warrid land and oceanic heating. Winter position allows southern Himalayan slopes summer shift north due to Warrid land and ocean heating. Types of jet stream. Subtropical jet stream, mid latitude or polar front jet stream. The subtropical jet stream above 30 से 35 degree latitude with consistent west to east flow. Subtropical jet stream about 30 से 35 degree latitude with consistent west to east flow. Mid latitude or polar front jet stream. Mid latitude or polar front jet stream between 40 से 60 degree latitude, dynamic due to interaction of polar and tropical air masses. Tropical air masses. Nature and important aspects of monsoon. Nature and important aspects of monsoon. पहला है onset of the monsoon. Onset of the monsoon. इसको 3 भाग में पढ़ेंगे. Onset of the monsoon, फिर है नेक्स्ट रेन बियरिंग सिस्टम, फिर ब्रेकिंग इन द monsoon एंड रिट्रीट ऑफ मानसून। तो सबसे पहला है ऑनसेट ऑफ द मानसून। ऑनसेट ऑफ द मानसून में पहलेंगे लैंड एंड सी टेम्परेचर कॉन्ट्रास्ट। लैंड एंड सी टेम्परेचर कॉन्ट्रास्ट। समर हीट क्रिएट्स लो प्रेशर ओवर नॉर्थ वेस्ट इंडिया। समर हीट Summer heat creates low pressure over northwest India, attracting moisture-laden winds from the southeast. Attracting moisture-laden winds from the southeast. Intertropical convergence zone. Intertropical convergence zone shifts northward with the sun's movement, aligning with the monsoon's arrival. Shift northward with the sun's movement, aligning with the monsoon's arrival. Low pressure system formed in the Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea. Low pressure system formed in the Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea. Cyclonic activity. Cyclonic activity. Vortices near Kerala and Lakshadweep propel monsoon current northward. Cyclonic activity. Vortices near Kerala and Lakshadweep propel monsoon current northward. Temperature driven thoughts. Temperature driven through. Temperature driven throws. Difference between land and sea temperature can delay or weaken monsoon onset. Difference between land and sea temperature can delay or weaken monsoon onset. Crossing the equator. Crossing the equator. Southern hemisphere trade winds crossing into the northern hemisphere boost monsoon winds toward India. Southern hemisphere trade winds crossing into the northern hemisphere boost monsoon winds towards India. Rain bearing system. Rain bearing system. Arabian Sea branch. Arabian Sea branch divides into three streams. Rain bearing system. Arabian Sea branch divides into three streams. First stream cause heavy rainfall along the western Ghat due to orographic lifting. First stream cause heavy rainfall along the western Ghats due to orographic lifting. Second stream passes through Narmada Tapi Valley. Second stream passes through Narmada Tapi Valley. Third stream has minimal impact along the Aravali range. Third stream has minimal impact along the Aravali range. Bay of Bengal branch. Bay of Bengal branch split into two streams. First stream impacts Ganga Brahmaputra Delta and Meghalaya's. First stream impact Ganga Brahmaputra Delta Meghalaya's. Second stream allows Himalayan foothills, providing widespread rainfall to the Ganga's plain. Second stream follows Himalayan foothills, providing widespread rainfall to the Ganga's plain. Break in the monsoon. Break in the monsoon. Dry spell during the monsoon season after initial rainfall. Dry spells during the monsoon season after initial rainfall. Retreat of the monsoon. Retreat of the monsoon. Southwest monsoon withdrawal from North India during October and November, lasting about 3 months. Southwest monsoon withdrawal from North India during October and November, lasting about 3 months. Indian Ocean Dipole and Indian Monsoon. Indian Ocean Dipole and Indian Monsoon. The Indian Ocean Dipole is a climate phenomenon characterized by the difference in sea surface temperature between the eastern Bay of Bengal and western Arabian Sea region of the Indian Ocean. The Indian Ocean Dipole is a climatic phenomenon characterized by the difference in sea surface temperature between the eastern Bay of Bengal and western Arabian Sea regions of the Indian Ocean. Positive Indian Ocean Dipole, negative Indian Ocean Dipole. Positive Indian Ocean Dipole. Warmer west, cooler east. Warmer west, cooler east. Enhanced monsoon, increased rainfall. The warmer west, cooler east, warmer sea surface temperature in the western Indian Ocean. Cooler temperature in the east creates a positive Indian Ocean dipole. Warmer sea surface temperature in the western Indian Ocean and cooler temperature in the east creates a positive Indian Ocean dipole phase. Enhanced monsoon. This temperature pattern strengthens atmospheric conditions that favor monsoon circulation. It leads to increased moisture transport and higher rainfall, particularly in central India. This temperature pattern strengthens atmospheric conditions that favors monsoon circulation. It leads to increased moisture transport and higher rainfall, particularly in central India. Increased rainfall. Observations show that central India receive above average rainfall during positive Indian Ocean dipole years. Observations show that central India receives above average rainfall during positive Indian Ocean dipoles. Negative Indian Ocean dipoles. Cooler west, warmer east. Cooler west, warmer east, weaker monsoon, ड्रॉट रिस्क पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव क्या है इसके, पॉजिटिव का जस्ट अपोजिट है नेगेटिव इंडियन ओशन डायपोल, कूलर वेस्ट वार्मर ईस्ट। नेगेटिव इंडियन ओशन डायपोल occurs when the temperature gradient reverses with cooler waters in the west, warmer water in the east. Weaker monsoon, this disrupt the monsoon circulation, leading to a weaker and potentially delayed monsoon arrival. This disrupt the monsoon circulation, leading to a weaker and potentially delayed monsoon arrival. ड्रॉट रिस्क में लिखेंगे नेगेटिव इंडियन ओशन डायपोल कैन कंट्रीब्यूट टू ड्रॉट कंडीशन पर्टिकुलरली इन सेंट्रल एंड ईस्टर्न इंडिया ड्यू टू बिलो एवरेज रेनफॉल। Negative Indian Ocean dipole can contribute to drought condition particularly in central and eastern India due to below average rainfall. उसके बाद है नेक्स्ट एल नीनो एंड इंडियन मानसून। एल नीनो एंड इंडियन मानसून 2023 के पीसीएस के पेपर में पूछा हुआ है। एल नीनो एंड इंडियन मानसून वीकेंड मानसून डिलेड अराइवल अनइवन डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन रीजनल वेरिएशन। तो पहला है वीकेंड मानसून डिसरप्ट्स ग्लोबल एटमॉस्फेरिक सर्कुलेशन रिड्यूसिंग मॉइस्चर फ्लो अक्रॉस द इक्वेटर result in weaker monsoon and decreased rainfall in India. Disrupts global atmospheric circulation, reducing moisture flow across the equator, resulting in weaker monsoons and decreased rainfall in India. Delayed arrival can delay the onset of the monsoon, affecting agricultural planning, water management, and other sectors reliant on timely rainfall. Can delay the onset of the monsoon, affecting agricultural planning, waste water management, and other sector reliant on timely rainfall. Uneven distribution in part varies across India. Central and northern region are more susceptible to below average rainfall and drought during El Nino years. Impact varies across India. Central and northern region are more susceptible to below average rainfall and drought during El Nino's year. Regional variations disrupts rainfall patterns leading to localized deficit and flooding depending on El Nino strength and regional atmospheric condition. ला नीना एंड इंडियन मानसून। ला नीना एंड इंडियन मानसून। ला नीना एल नीनो का जस्ट अपोजिट होता है, इसलिए इन्हांस्ड मानसूनल रेनफॉल, रिड्यूस्ड विंटर रेनफॉल, साइक्लोन एक्टिविटी, इम्पैक्ट ऑन सदर्न इंडिया। Enhanced monsoonal rainfall typically increases southern west monsoon rainfall over India from June to September. Typically increases southern west monsoon rainfall over India from June to September. Reduced winter rainfall adversely affect northeast monsoon जो दिसंबर से फरवरी के बीच में होती है, resulting in reduced rainfall. Cyclone activity increases low pressure system and cyclone in the Bay of Bengal position further north than usual. Increased low pressure system and cyclones in the Bay of Bengal position further north than usual. Impact on southern India system tends to recurve eastward, reducing rainfall in southern region like Tamil Nadu during La Nina events. Why cyclones are rare during peak monsoon months July and August? Why cyclones are rare during peak monsoon months जुलाई और अगस्त में? स्ट्रॉन्ग सरफेस विंड होती है, अपर लेवल विंड्स होती हैं, हाई विंड शेयर होता है, इन्वायरमेंटल कंडीशन। स्ट्रॉन्ग सरफेस विंड्स, मानसून विंड्स ब्लो फ्रॉम साउथ वेस्ट और वेस्ट एट द सरफेस। Monsoon winds blow from south, west or west at the surface with stronger easterly or southeasterly winds over the ocean, hindering cyclone formation. With stronger easterly or southeasterly winds over the ocean, hindering cyclone formation. Upper level winds, westerly or southwesterly winds to be south and southeasterly or easterly winds to the north of the monsoon through increase in speed with altitude. High wind shear. Strong and varying winds at different altitude creates high vertical wind shear, disrupting storm system development. Strong and varying winds at different altitude creating high vertical wind shear, disrupting storm system development. Environmental condition: warm ocean water, and moist atmosphere necessary for cyclone formation are less prevalent or disturbed during peak monsoon months. Warm ocean water and moist atmosphere necessary for cyclone formation are less prevalent or disturbed during peak monsoon months. Distribution of rainfall. Distribution of rainfall. Key factors determining distribution of rainfall. Key factors determining distribution of rainfall. पहला है रिलीफ फीचर्स, दूसरा है साइक्लोनिक डिप्रेशन, तीसरा है डायरेक्शन ऑफ विंड. रिलीफ फीचर्स में लिखेंगे mountains and plateaus play a crucial role. Mountains and plateaus play a crucial role. Area on the windward side facing the moisture laden winds receive more rain than the leeward side. For example, the Western Ghats receive heavy rainfall due to their windward position. Cyclonic depression. These low pressure system brings heavy rain to specific region as they move across the country. This low pressure system brings heavy rain to specific region as they move across the country. The eastern coast and deltas often experience heavy rainfall due to depressions forming over the Bay of Bengal. Direction of winds. Direction of winds. The direction of moisture laden winds significantly impact rainfall distribution. The direction of moisture laden winds significantly impacts rainfall distribution. For instance, the Aravalli Hills block the Arabian Sea branch of monsoon, leading to low rainfall in Rajasthan. The Aravalli Hills block the Arabian Sea branch of the monsoon, leading to low rainfall in Rajasthan. Rainfall pattern: decreasing northward, coastal to interior decrease, altitude increase. Decreasing northward. Rainfall generally decreases as we move north from Meghalaya, known for its high rainfall, towards the plain of Haryana and Punjab. Rainfall generally decreases as we move north from Meghalaya, known for its high rainfall, towards the plain of Haryana and Punjab. Coastal to interior decrease. Similar to the north, rainfall in peninsular India tends to decrease as you move inland from the coast. Rainfall in peninsular India tends to decrease as you move inland from the coast. Altitude increase. In the northeast, rainfall increases with altitude, with Mansinram located on a plateau receiving exceptionally high rainfall. Rainfall distribution. Rainfall distribution: high rainfall, moderate rainfall, low rainfall, inadequate rainfall. रेनफॉल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन में सबसे पहले आएगा हाई रेनफॉल अबाउट 200 सेंटीमीटर. अबाउट 200 सेंटीमीटर. वेस्टर्न घाट्स, सब हिमालयन रीजन ऑफ द नॉर्थ ईस्ट एंड द गारो खासी जयंतिया हिल्स ऑफ मेघालय. वेस्टर्न घाट्स, सब हिमालयन रीजन ऑफ द नॉर्थ ईस्ट एंड गारो खासी जयंतिया हिल्स ऑफ मेघालय, जहाँ पे हाई रेनफॉल होती है अबाउट 200 सेंटीमीटर्स. मॉडरेट रेनफॉल. मॉडरेट रेनफॉल 100 से 200 सेंटीमीटर. पार्ट्स ऑफ द वेस्टर्न घाट, वेस्ट बंगाल, उड़ीसा, Bihar, several other states. Part of the Western Ghat, West Bengal, Odisha, Bihar, several other states. Low rainfall 60 से 100 सेंटीमीटर. 60 से 100 सेंटीमीटर. Parts of Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan and the interior Deccan Plate. Inadequate rainfall less than 60 centimeter. Western Rajasthan, Gujarat, Ladakh and parts of South Central India. कोपिन क्लास. कोपिन की स्पेलिंग है KOEPPEEN. Köppen's classification of climatic regions of India. Köppen's classification of climatic regions of India. Köppen identifies a close relationship between the distribution of vegetation and climate. Köppen identifies a close relationship between the distribution of vegetation and climate. AMW माने monsoon type with short dry season. Monsoon type with short dry season. Western coastal region south of Goa. Western coastal region south of Goa. AS monsoon type with dry season in summer. Monsoon type with dry season in summer. Along the Coromandel coast. Along the Coromandel coast. AW tropical savanna type. Tropical savanna type. Almost the entire peninsular region except for some coastal areas. Almost the entire peninsular region except for some coastal area. SHW. BSHW, semi-arid steppe climate, interior parts of the peninsular plate and part of Gujarat, Rajasthan, Haryana, Punjab, Jammu Kashmir. Interior part of the peninsular plateau, part of Gujarat, Rajasthan, Haryana, Punjab, Jammu and Kashmir. BWHW. BWHW, hot desert type, western part of Rajasthan. CWG, monsoon type with dry winters. Monsoon type with dry winter. CWG, northern plain of India. Northern plain of India. DFC. DFC, cold humid winter type with short summer. Cold humid winter type with short summer. Northeastern part of India. Northeastern part of India. E, polar type, Jammu and Kashmir and neighboring mountain ranges. E, polar type, Jammu and Kashmir and neighboring माउंटेन रेंजेस. मॉनसून एंड इकोनॉमिक लाइफ ऑफ इंडिया. मॉनसून एंड इकोनॉमिक लाइफ ऑफ इंडिया. पहला है एग्रीकल्चर डिपेंडेंस, डाइवर्स क्रॉप्स, रेनफॉल चैलेंजेस, इरीगेशन एंड रेनफॉल, सीजनल बेनिफिट्स, क्लाइमेटिक इम्पैक्ट. तो एग्रीकल्चरल डिपेंडेंस क्या है? Over 64% of India's population relies on agriculture. Over 64% of India's population relies on agriculture, making the monsoon critical for the agriculture cycle. Making the monsoon critical for the agriculture cycle. Diverse crop. Regional variation in monsoon rainfall allows cultivation of a wide variety of crops across India, excluding the Himalayas. Regional variation in monsoon rainfall allows cultivation of a wide variety of crop across India, excluding the Himalayas. Rainfall challenges. Rainfall challenges. Uneven distribution can lead to drought or floods in different regions annually. Uneven distribution can lead to drought or floods in different region annually. Irrigation and rainfall. Irrigation and rainfall. Timely and well distributed rainfall is crucial. Timely and well distributed rainfall is crucial, especially in area with a limited irrigation infrastructure. Timely and well distributed rainfall is crucial, especially in area with limited irrigation infrastructure. Seasonal benefits. Winter rainfall supports rabi crops sown in winter and harvested in springs. Winter rainfall supports rabi crops sown in winter and harvested in springs. Climatic impact. Monsoon shapes India's regional climates, influencing food preferences, clothing and housing styles. Monsoon shapes India's regional climates, influencing food preferences, clothing and housing styles. Next chapter है population and migration in India. Population and migration in India. WHO defines of WHO की definition of population. WHO की definition of population: complete set of inhabitants in a specific location. Complete set of inhabitants in a specific location, country, territory or area. Can be broken down by factors like sex and age group. Can be broken down by factors like age and sex group. Demographic definition of population. Demographic definition of population: total number of individuals in a defined area at a specific time, often July 1st, includes breakdown by sex and age group. Total number of individuals in a defined area at a specific time, often July 1st, July, includes breakdown by sex and age group. Population fact wise. Total population as of early 2024, अच्छा एकदम ये लेटेस्ट डाटा है. As of early 2024, India's population is approximately 1.44 billion, making it the most populous country in the world, having overtaken China in mid-2023. As of early 2024, India's population is approximately 1.44 billion, making it the most populous country in the world, having overtaken China in mid-2023. Population growth rate for India is in 2024 is estimated at 0.83. तो population growth rate 2024 में कितनी है? 0.83. Sex ratio as of the end of 2023, the sex ratio is around 939 females per 1000 males. एकदम करंट में अभी सेक्स रेशियो क्या है? 939 फीमेल per 1000 males. Population density in early 2024 is approximately 439 people per square kilometer. Population density 439 people per square kilometer. 439 people per square kilometer. Rural urban population. The rural population accounts for about 65%. The rural population accounts for about 65%. Literacy rate in India. As of the latest report by the National Statistical Office (NSO), the literacy rate in India stands at 77.7% in 2023. As of the latest report by the NSO National Statistical Office, the literacy rate in India stands at 77.7% in 2023. Life expectancy. Life expectancy, it is 70 years in 2022 and expected to reach 82 by 2100 according to UN estimates. Globally it is 72.6 per year, 72.6 years. 22 में ये 70.19 थी, 2100 में 82 हो जाएगी यूएन के एस्टिमेट के हिसाब से, और ग्लोबली अभी 72.6 ईयर है. सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ पॉपुलेशन स्टडीज़. सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ पॉपुलेशन स्टडीज़. इकोनॉमिक पावर हाउस, सोशल सेफ्टी नेट, प्रमोटिंग वेलबींग, पॉलिसी फाउंडेशन, प्लानिंग फॉर द फ्यूचर. तो पहला है इकोनॉमिक पावर हाउस. एनालाइजेज वर्कफोर्स साइज, स्किल्स, डेमोग्राफिक्स to guide economic strategies and market potential. Social safety nets identifies vulnerable population to inform social welfare programs and resource allocation. Identifies vulnerable population to inform social welfare program and resource allocation. Promoting well-being. Promoting well-being uses data on fertility, contraceptive use, reproductive health to improve family planning and reduce mortality. Promoting well-being uses data on fertility, contraceptive use, and reproductive health to improve family planning and reduce mortality. Policy Foundation supports evidence-based policy making by understanding the needs and priorities of different demographic groups. Supports evidence-based policy making by understanding the needs and priorities of different demographic groups. Planning for the future. Planning for the future guides infrastructure planning and resource allocation using data on population density, distribution and growth. Trends in population growth. Trends in क्या है? Trends in population growth. Period of stagnant population. Period of stagnant population था 1990 से 1921 तक. High birth and death rates result in slow or negative growth. 1921 marks the demographic divide due to low growth. Demographic divide due to low growth. 1921. नेक्स्ट है पीरियड ऑफ स्टेडी ग्रोथ. पीरियड ऑफ स्टेडी ग्रोथ 1921 से 1951. हाई बर्थ रेट्स, डिक्लाइनिंग मोर्टालिटी रेट्स ड्यू टू इम्प्रूव्ड हेल्थ एंड सैनिटेशन, ग्रोथ ड्राइवन बाय रिड्यूस्ड डेथ. ग्रोथ ड्राइवन बाय रिड्यूस्ड डेथ. पीरियड ऑफ रैपिड हाई ग्रोथ 1951 से 1981. पीरियड ऑफ रैपिड हाई ग्रोथ 1951 से 1981. मोर्टालिटी रेट्स ड्रॉप्ड. हाई बर्थ रेट्स लेड टू रैपिड पॉपुलेशन ग्रोथ. Explosion due to continued high fertility. Explosion due to continued high fertility. Next है period of high growth with definite sign of slowing down. Period of high growth with definite sign of slowing down 1981 से 2011 तक. Peak growth rate of 22.2% 1971 से 1981 तक. Peak growth rate of 22.2% 1971 से 1981 तक. Followed by gradual decline. 2021 सेंसस शोड लोअर ग्रोथ इंडिकेटिंग सक्सेसफुल फैमिली प्लानिंग एंड स्मॉलर फैमिली. 2021 सेंसस शोड लोअर ग्रोथ इंडिकेटिंग सक्सेसफुली फैमिली प्लानिंग एंड स्मॉलर फैमिलीज. नेक्स्ट है फैक्टर्स रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर हाई पॉपुलेशन ग्रोथ इन इंडिया. पीसीएस में पूछा है क्वेश्चन. फैक्टर्स रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर हाई पॉपुलेशन ग्रोथ इन इंडिया. कौन कौन से कारक हैं जिसकी वजह से भारत में इतना ज़्यादा हाई पॉपुलेशन ग्रोथ है? पहला है हाई फर्टिलिटी रेट, दूसरा है डिक्लाइनिंग मोर्टालिटी रेट, लिमिटेड फैमिली प्लानिंग एसेस, पॉवर्टी एंड एजुकेशन, कल्चरल एंड सोशल इन्फ्लुएंस. तो पहला है हाई फर्टिलिटी रेट. इंडियाज फर्टिलिटी रेट इज स्लाइटली अबव रिप्लेसमेंट लेवल एट 2.0 चिल्ड्रन पर वुमेन. India's fertility rate is slightly above replacement level at 2.0 children per woman. नेशनल फैमिली हेल्थ सर्वे 5 का डाटा 2019-21 के हिसाब से. डिक्लाइनिंग मोर्टालिटी रेट. डिक्लाइनिंग मोर्टालिटी रेट्स. सिग्निफिकेंट ड्रॉप इन मोर्टालिटी रेट्स स्पेशली इन्फेंट मोर्टालिटी. सिग्निफिकेंट ड्रॉप इन मोर्टालिटी रेट्स स्पेशली इन्फेंट मोर्टालिटी. IMR at 35 per 1000 live birth. IMR infant mortality rate at 35 per 1000 Live birth, National Family Health Survey 5. Limited family planning access, limited family planning access. Only 50% of married women use modern contraceptives. Only 50% of married women use modern contraceptives. Poverty and education, poverty and education. Higher fertility rates linked to poverty and low education. Higher fertility rates linked to poverty and low education. 27.5% of population below the poverty line, census 2011. 27.5% of population below the poverty line, census 2011. Cultural and social influence, cultural and social influences. Cultural preferences and societal pressures contribute to large family size. Cultural preferences and societal Cultural preferences and societal pressures contribute to larger family size. Implication of high population growth. Implications of high population growth. पहले issues हैं, फिर potential benefits हैं, फिर challenges पढ़ेंगे. पहला है issues. Resource strain, infrastructure overload, job market strain, increased social needs, environmental degradation. Implications of high population growth. तो issues हैं resource strain, increased pressure on food, water, housing, energy. Increased pressure on food, water, housing, energy. Infrastructure overload, overburdened transportation, healthcare, education, sanitation. Overburdened transportation, healthcare, education, sanitation. Job market strain, risk of unemployment and underemployment if job creates lag behinds. Risk of unemployment and underemployment of if job creates lags behind. Increased social needs, higher demand for healthcare services and educational institutions. Higher demand for healthcare services and educational institutions. Environmental degradation, accelerated deforestation, pollution and resource depletion. Accelerated deforestation, pollution and resource depletion. Potential benefits, economic growth or demographic dividend. Economic growth, larger market and consumer demand can drive economic expansion. Larger market and consumer demand can drive economic expansion. Demographic dividend, young population with proper education and skill investment can boost productivity and growth. Young population with proper education and skill investment can boost productivity and growth. Challenges and considerations. Social welfare, more difficult to provide adequate services and welfare programs. Unplanned urbanization, strain on infrastructure and risk of unplanned growth. Sustainable development, essential to implement long term policies for sustainability. Distribution of population and its density. Reason pertaining to unequal population distribution. Terrain, climate, mineral resources, fertile soil, urbanization. Terrain, flat plains support agriculture, transportation, industries, leading to higher population density. Example, Ganga Plain or Arunachal Pradesh. Versus Arunachal Pradesh. Flat plains support agriculture, transportation, industries, leading to higher population density. Example, Ganga Plains versus Arunachal Pradesh. Climate, extreme temperature or low rainfall areas have lower population density. Extreme temperatures and low rainfall areas have lower population density. Example, Himalayas and Thar deserts. Mineral resources, mineral deposits attract investment and create jobs. Increasing population density. Example, Chota Nagpur Plateau. Fertile soil support agriculture and settlements, resulting in high density. Example, Ganga Plains. Urbanization, cities with economic opportunities attract people, leading to higher population density. Example, Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata. Population census in India. A population census collects, analyzes, disseminates demographic, economic and social data at a specific point of time. A population census collects, analyzes, disseminates demographic, economic and social data at a specific point in time. First census in India in 1872. First census in India in 1872 under Lord Mayo continued decennially. Continued decennially. Second census in 1881 under Lord Ripon established the 10-year cycle. Second census in 1881 under Lord Ripon established the 10-year cycle. First post-independence census in 1951 continue the decennial tradition. फर्स्ट जो पोस्ट इंडिपेंडेंस सेंसस हुआ था वो 1951 में हुआ था, फिर कंटिन्यू द हर 10 साल पे डिसेनियल ट्रेडिशन. Highlight ongoing commitment to using census data for national development. Highlights ongoing commitment to using census data for national development. Working population, labor force participation rate, female labor force participation rate, workers population rate, unemployment rate. तो labor force participation rate, urban labor force participation rate rose to 49.9% October December 2023 from 48.2% अक्टूबर दिसंबर 2022. ओवरऑल लेबर फोर्स पार्टिसिपेशन फॉर एजेस 15 प्लस वॉज 54.6% 2022-23 का डाटा. फीमेल लेबर फोर्स पार्टिसिपेशन रेट इंक्रीज टू 37% इन 2023. पीरियोडिक लेबर फोर्स सर्वे 2022-23 के अनुसार तो इंक्रीज टू 37% इन 2023. वर्कर्स पॉपुलेशन रेशियो अर्बन वर्कर्स पॉपुलेशन रेशियो रोज टू 46.6% अक्टूबर दिसंबर 2023 फ्रॉम 44.7% 2022 में था. अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट तो वर्कर्स पॉपुलेशन रेट भी बढ़ गया, 46.6% हो गया. अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट अर्बन अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट इंक्रीज टू 6.5%. अर्बन अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट अर्बन अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट डिक्रीज टू 6.5% फ्रॉम 7.2%. अक्टूबर दिसंबर 2022 में 7.2% था, अक्टूबर से लेकर दिसंबर 2023 में 6.5% हो गया. रूरल अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट वॉज 2.4%. रूरल अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट कितना है? 2.4%. डेमोग्राफिक डिविडेंड विंडो ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटीज़. डेमोग्राफिक डिविडेंड विंडो ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटीज़. यूनाइटेड नेशन पॉपुलेशन फंड ने डेमोग्राफिक डिविडेंड को डिफाइन किया है एज डेमोग्राफिक डिविडेंड इज डिफाइंड एज द इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ पोटेंशियल दैट कैन रिजल्ट फ्रॉम अ चेंज इन पॉपुलेशन एज स्ट्रक्चर. द इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ पोटेंशियल दैट कैन रिजल्ट फ्रॉम अ चेंज इन population age structure where shares of the working age 15 से 64 years population is greater than non-working age share. India's would experience this phase between 28 से 2025. Demographic dividend is defined as the economic growth potential that can result from a change in population age structure where shares of the working age 15 से 64 years population is greater than non-working age share. India would experience this phase between 2018 से 2055 तक. सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ डेमोग्राफिक डिविडेंड. सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ डेमोग्राफिक डिविडेंड पहला है इकोनॉमिक बूम, इनोवेशन हब, सोशल अपलिफ्टमेंट, सब्सटेंशियल फ्यूचर. इकोनॉमिक बूम, लार्जर वर्कफोर्स इंक्रीजेस प्रोडक्टिविटी, GDP and living standard. Larger workforce increases productivity, GDP, living standard. Innovation hub, youthful population foster entrepreneurship and technological advancement. Youthful population foster entrepreneurship and technological advancement. Social upliftment, investment in education, healthcare, social security reduces poverty and empowers marginalized group. Social upliftment, investment in education, healthcare and social security reduces poverty and empowers marginalized group. Sustainable future. Sustainable future, skilled workforce support long-term growth and global competitiveness. Skilled workforce supports long-term growth and global competitiveness. Challenges, social issues, limited opportunities, restricted access to healthcare and education. Limited opportunities में लिखेंगे restricted access to healthcare and education, brain drain, migration of skilled individual weakens human capital. Migration of skilled individual weaken human capital. Economic concern, job market woes. Insufficient job and income inequality creates economic disparity. Insufficient jobs and income inequality creates economic disparity. Under investment, lack of investment in the K sector hampers growth. Lack of investment in the K sector hampers growth. Political obstacles. Political obstacles, short sighted policies, lack of long term planning impedes human development. Lack of long term planning impedes human development. Governance issues, corruption and inefficiency obstruct effective reforms. Corruption and inefficiency obstruct effective reforms. Environmental threat, climate change, pollution and ecosystem degradation affects livelihood and well-being. क्लाइमेट चेंज में लिखेंगे पॉल्यूशन एंड इकोसिस्टम डिग्रेडेशन अफेक्ट्स लाइवलीहुड एंड वेलबिंग. टेक्नोलॉजिकल हर्डल्स, डिजिटल डिवाइड, अनइक्वल एक्सेस टू टेक्नोलॉजी एंड डिजिटल लिटरेसी वाइडन gaps. Technological hurdles, digital divide, unequal access to technology and digital literacy widen gaps. Job displacement, automation requires reskilling and upskilling to address job disruption. Job displacement, automation requires reskilling and upskilling to address job disruption. Way forward, investing in youth, jobs and enterprise, empowering women, social safety nets, knowledge and global knowledge sharing. Investing in youth, equal prioritize quality education, vocational training and digital literacy. Prioritize equality education, vocational training and digital literacy. Jobs and enterprise, promote entrepreneurship and support small businesses. Promote entrepreneurship and support small businesses. Empowering women, ensure equal access to education and employment. Ensure equal access to education and employment. Social safety nets, to safeguard vulnerable population, to safeguard vulnerable populations. Global knowledge sharing, global knowledge sharing to learn from best practices and facilitate technology transfer. To learn from practices and facilitates technology transfer. Digital divide, digital divide definition. And digital divide refers to the disparity in access, affordability, availability of information and communication technologies across different demographic and regions. Definition and digital divide की digital divide refers to disparity in access, affordability and availability of information and communications technologies across different demographic and regions. Accessibility, only 2.7% of the poorest 20% households have computer access, 8.9% have internet access. Oxfam India Inequality Report 2022. ऑक्सफैम इंडिया इनइक्वालिटी रिपोर्ट 2022 के हिसाब से एक्सेसिबिलिटी कितनी है? ओनली 2.7% ऑफ द पुअरेस्ट 20% हाउस होल्ड्स हैव कंप्यूटर एक्सेस, 8.9% हैव इंटरनेट एक्सेस. डिजिटल लिटरेसी 38% of households in India are digitally illiterate. 38% of households in India are digitally illiterate. 38% of households in India are digital literate हैं केवल. डिजिटल लिटरेसी कितनी है? केवल 38%. इंटरनेट यूसेज 31% इन रूरल एरिया वर्सेज 67% इन अर्बन एरिया. इंटरनेट यूसेज 31% इन रूरल एरिया एंड 67% इन अर्बन एरिया. लैक ऑफ एक्सेस टू मार्जिनलाइज्ड, इसमें लिखेंगे ओनली 4% ऑफ SC and ST स्टूडेंट्स हैव एक्सेस टू बोथ कंप्यूटर एंड द इंटरनेट. ओनली 4% ऑफ द SC and ST students have access to both computer and internet. ICT access is crucial for achieving sustainable development goals by 2030. ICT access is crucial for achieving sustainable development goals by 2030. ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट, आगे का टॉपिक है ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट. यूनाइटेड नेशन डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम ने ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट को डिफाइन किया है. ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट इज द प्रोसेस ऑफ इनलार्जिंग पीपल्स चॉइस अलाउइंग देम टू लीड अ लॉन्ग एंड हेल्दी लाइफ, टू बी एजुकेटेड, to enjoy a decent standard of living, as well as political freedom, other guaranteed human rights, and various ingredients of self-respect. Human development is the process of enlarging people's choice, allowing them to lead a long and healthy life, to be educated, to enjoy a decent standard of living, as well as political freedom, other guaranteed human rights, and various ingredients of self-respect. Significance of human development. पहला है sustainable livelihood, building a skilled nation, alignment with global goals, health for all, empowering the vulnerable. Significance of human development, पहला है sustainable livelihood, secure income opportunities in agriculture and entrepreneurship, secure income opportunities in agriculture and entrepreneurship, building a skilled nation, enhance workforce skill for productivity and competitiveness, enhances workforce skills for productivity and competitiveness. Alignment with global goals, support UN का SDGs on poverty, education, gender equality. Health for all focuses on quality healthcare and improved health outcomes. Focus on quality healthcare and improved health outcomes, empowering the vulnerable. Uplifts marginalized group with equal opportunities. Uplift marginalized group with equal opportunities. Various indices to measure human development. Various indices to measure human development. पहला है ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट इंडेक्स, जेंडर गैप इंडेक्स, जेंडर इनइक्वालिटी इंडेक्स, इनइक्वालिटी एडजस्टेड ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट इंडेक्स, मल्टी डायमेंशनल पॉवर्टी इंडेक्स. तो ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट इंडेक्स कंबाइंस लाइफ एक्सपेक्टेंसी, education, gross national income per capita, published by UNDP. Combines life expectancy, education, gross national income per capita, published by UNDP. Gender gap index measures gender disparity in life expectancy, education and income. India ranks 135 out of 146 countries, published by World Economic Forum. Gender inequality index assess gender based inequalities in reproductive health, empowerment and labor market participation. Assess gender based inequality in reproductive health, empowerment and labor market participation. इंडिया रैंक्स लेटेस्ट देख लेंगे इसका. इनइक्वालिटी एडजस्टेड ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट इंडेक्स, इनइक्वालिटी एडजस्टेड ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट इंडेक्स, एडजस्टेड ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट इंडेक्स फॉर इनइक्वालिटी इन हेल्थ, एजुकेशन एंड इनकम. Adjust Human Development Index for inequality in health, education and income, part of the Human Development Report. Multidimensional Poverty Index. Multidimensional Poverty Index measures poverty through health, education, living standard. Measures poverty through health, education and living standards. Identifies simultaneous deprivation. India rank first in 2020-22. K challenges for human development in India. K challenges for human development in India. पहला है poverty, फिर education, health care, gender inequality, unemployment, digital divide. Poverty, widespread poverty 16.4% according to multidimensional poverty index limit access to basic needs. Poverty, widespread poverty 16.4% according to multidimensional poverty index limits access to basic needs. Education, quality education especially in rural and marginalized area remain a hurdle. Quality education especially in rural and marginalized areas remains a hurdle. Healthcare, limited access to quality healthcare particularly in remote area. 1.4 beds per 1000 people, 1 doctor per 1445 people, 1.7 nurses per 1000 people. तो 1.4 beds per 1000 people, 1 doctor per 1445 people, 1.7 nurses per 1000 people. Gender inequality, disparities in education, employment and access to resources. Disparity in education, employment and access to resources. Unemployment, high unemployment rate है 8.11% in April 2013. High unemployment rate 8.11% in April 2013, especially among youth. Digital divide, bridging the gap in access to technology for equitable participation. Bridging the gap in access to technology for equitable participation. Way forward, empower individual, strengthen social security nets, promote gender equality, ensure environmental sustainability, drive innovation. तो empower individual, enhance employability through skill development and entrepreneurship opportunities. Enhance employability through skill development and entrepreneurship opportunities. Strengthen social safety nets. Provide a robust healthcare, income support and nutrition. Promote gender equality, supports women education, job opportunities and decision making roles. Ensure environment sustainability, focus on renewable energy, sustainable agriculture and conservation. Drive innovation, foster research and collaboration for innovative solutions. China and India Contrasting population trends. China and India contrasting population trends. The population growth. India's population surpassed China in April 2023, 1.426 billion. China's population peaked in 2022 and may fall below 1 billion by 2100. Fertility rate. China fertility rate is 1.2 birth per woman due to past policies. India's rate is 2.0 birth per woman and projected to peak around 2064. Impact on policies. China faces an aging population due to low fertility. China faces an aging population due to low fertility. India's diverse policies leads to a more gradual population shift. Challenges. Both countries need to address aging population, healthcare, social security, and sex ratio imbalance. Both countries need to address aging population, healthcare, social security, and sex ratio imbalance. Sustainable development. Population size and growth affects progress towards sustainable development goals, emphasizing the need for comprehensive planning. Emphasizing the needs for comprehensive planning. Migration. International Organization for Migration. A migrant is a person who moves away from his or her place of usual residence, whether within a country or across an international border, temporarily or permanently, and for a variety of reasons. A migrant is a person who moves away from his or her place of usual residence, whether within a country or across an international border, temporarily or permanently, and for a variety of reasons. Broadly, migration can be divided as internal migration or external migration. Internal migration. Internal migration in India involves movement of people within the country from various reasons such as job opportunities, education, improved living condition. Internal migration in India involves the movement of people within the country from various reasons such as job opportunities, education, and improved living condition. Fact wise, number of internal migration. The 2011 census recorded the number of internal migration in India is 45.36 crore, which accounts for 37% of country's population at that time. Which accounts for 37% of the country's population at that time. Annual net migrant flow. Annual net migrant flow. The annual net migrant flow in India accounted to approximately 1% of the working age population. Types of internal migration. Interstate migration, rural urban migration, urban rural migration, seasonal migration, educational migration, reverse migration. Factors responsible for internal migration. पहला है इकोनॉमिक, सोशल, डेमोग्राफिक, इन्वायरमेंटल, पॉलिटिकल. इकोनॉमिक में सर्च फॉर बेटर जॉब्स, हायर वेजेस, इम्प्रूव्ड लिविंग स्टैंडर्ड. सर्च फॉर बेटर जॉब्स, हायर वेजेस एंड इम्प्रूव्ड लिविंग स्टैंडर्ड. सोशल में मैरिज, एजुकेशन एक्सेस एंड सोशल नेटवर्क्स इन्फ्लुएंस माइग्रेशन. मैरिज, एजुकेशन एक्सेस एंड सोशल नेटवर्क्स इन्फ्लुएंस माइग्रेशन. डेमोग्राफिक में हाई पॉपुलेशन डेंसिटी, रिसोर्स लिमिटेशंस, एज रिलेटेड नीड्स. इन्वायरमेंटल में नेचुरल डिजास्टर्स, डिग्रेडेशन, क्लाइमेट चेंज, पोस्ट माइग्रेशन. नेचुरल डिजास्टर्स, डिग्रेडेशन, क्लाइमेट चेंज, पोस्ट माइग्रेशन. पॉलिटिकल में इंस्टेबिलिटी, कन्फ्लिक्ट्स एंड डेवलपमेंटल पॉलिसीज कैन ट्रिगर माइग्रेशन फॉर सेफ्टी. Significance of internal migration. Economic push, bridging the divide, urban transformation, upward mobility, cross pollination of ideas, investing in people. Significance of internal migration लिखेंगे पहले. Economic push fuels economic growth and labor safety to industries and urban centers. Fuels economic growth and labor supply to industries and urban centers. Bridging the divide, reduce regional imbalances. Urban transformation drives urbanization, creates jobs and access to services. Upward mobility provides opportunities for education, healthcare and employment. Cross-pollination of ideas facilitates the exchange of skills and innovative ideas. Facilitates the exchange of skills and innovative ideas. Investing in people through better education and skill development. Investing in people through better education and skill development. Challenges: strained infrastructure, social disadvantage, economic insecurity, vulnerability to abuse, social disruption, limited healthcare. Strained infrastructure में लिखेंगे overburden urban services, inadequate living condition. Overburden urban services, inadequate living conditions. सोशल डिसएडवांटेज में लिखेंगे माइग्रेंट्स फेस एक्सक्लूजन, डिस्क्रिमिनेशन एंड लिमिटेड एक्सेस टू सर्विसेज. माइग्रेंट्स फेस एक्सक्लूजन, डिस्क्रिमिनेशन एंड लिमिटेड एक्सेस टू सर्विसेज. इकोनॉमिक इनसिक्योरिटी में लिखेंगे लो वेजेस एंड पुअर कंडीशन इन इनफॉर्मल सेक्टर्स. लो वेजेस एंड पुअर कंडीशन इन इनफॉर्मल सेक्टर्स. vulnerability to abuse, risk of exploitation, trafficking and forced labor. Risk of exploitation, trafficking and forced labor. Social disruption, family separation and emotional distress for migrants. Family separation and emotional distress for migrants. Limited health care, restricted access to essential services in informal settlements. Restricted access to essential services in informal settlements. Way forward: integrated approach. Integrated approach, urban developed urban planning and infrastructure with migration in mind. Developed urban planning and infrastructure with migration in mind. Inequality and inclusion, ensure access to education and healthcare for all migrants. Ensure access to education and healthcare for all migrants. Empower and opportunities. Empower and opportunities, improve job prospects and social development. Improves job prospect and social development. Safeguarding rights, enhance legal protection and support system for migrants. Enhance legal protection and support system for migrants. Social integration, facilitates family reunification and provides support network. Facilitate family reunification and provides support networks. External migration. External migration refers to the movement of people from one country to another. External migration refers to the movement of movement of people from one country to another for the purpose of changing their place of residence. External migration. External migration refers to the movement of people from one country to another for the purpose of changing their place of residence. External migration refers to the movement of people from one country to another for the purpose of changing their place of residence. Types of external migration. Types of external migration. पहला टाइप है इमाइग्रेशन फ्रॉम इंडिया, इमाइग्रेशन टू इंडिया, रिफ्यूजी माइग्रेशन. इमाइग्रेशन फ्रॉम इंडिया, इंडियन मूविंग अब्रॉड फॉर एम्प्लॉयमेंट, एजुकेशन, फैमिली रीयूनिफिकेशन और बेटर लिविंग कंडीशन. इंडियंस मूविंग अब्रॉड फॉर एम्प्लॉयमेंट, एजुकेशन, फैमिली रीयूनिएशन और बेटर लिविंग कंडीशन. इमाइग्रेशन टू इंडिया, फॉरनर्स मूविंग टू इंडिया फॉर वर्क, बिजनेसेस, education, family reunification. Refugee migration, individual flee persecution, conflict or violence in their home countries. रिफ्यूजी जो माइग्रेशन होता है, इंडिविजुअल फ्लीइंग परसिक्यूशन, फीलिंग परसिक्यूशन, कन्फ्लिक्ट, वायलेंस इन देयर होम कंट्रीज. फैक्टर्स रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर एक्सटर्नल माइग्रेशन. फैक्टर्स रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर एक्सटर्नल माइग्रेशन. पहला है इकोनॉमिक, seeking better job, higher wages and improved living standard. इकोनॉमिक में लिखेंगे seeking better job, higher wages and improved living standard. एजुकेशन में pursuit of higher education and specialized training. Pursuit of higher education and specialized training. Safety and security. Safety and security, escaping political instability, conflict and persecution. Escaping political instability, conflict and persecution. Global opportunities, labor demand due to globalization. Global opportunities, labor demand due to globalization. Seeking equality, migration for more tolerant and inclusive society. Migration for more tolerant and inclusive society. Healthcare needs. Healthcare needs mean access to better healthcare services and treatment. Access to better healthcare services and treatment. Improved quality of life. Improved quality of life. Desire for a higher standard of living and better amenities. Desire for a higher standard of living and better amenities. Resource based migration. Employment opportunities in resource rich region. Resource based migration. Employment opportunities in resource rich region. External migration, a double edge sword. External migration, a double edge sword. तो इसके पॉजिटिव इम्पैक्ट क्या होते हैं, नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट क्या होते हैं? तो पॉजिटिव इम्पैक्ट में है इकोनॉमिक बूस्ट, कल्चरल डाइवर्सिटी, स्किल्ड वर्कफोर्स, इनोवेशन हब, फिलिंग द गैप, ग्लोबल नेटवर्क. पहला है इकोनॉमिक बूस्ट, drives growth, remittances and skill transfer. Drives growth, remittances and skill transfer. Cultural diversity enriches societies with diverse tradition and ideas. Enriches societies with diverse tradition and ideas. Skilled workforce enhances human capital through acquired skills. Enhances human capital through acquired skill. Innovation hub sparks entrepreneurship and business growth. Sparks entrepreneurship and business growth. Filling the gap addresses labor shortages in host countries. Addresses labor shortages in host countries. Global network strengthens international trade and relations. ग्लोबल नेटवर्क में लिखेंगे strengthens international trade and relation. नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट में ब्रेन ड्रेन, वल्नरेबल पॉपुलेशंस, रेमिटेंस, रिलायंस, सोशल फ्रिक्शन, लॉस्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट, सोशल डिसरप्शन. ब्रेन ड्रेन, लॉस ऑफ स्किल्ड प्रोफेशनल फ्रॉम सेंडिंग कंट्रीज. लॉस ऑफ स्किल्ड प्रोफेशनल्स फ्रॉम सेंडिंग कंट्रीज. वल्नरेबल पॉपुलेशंस, रिस्क ऑफ एक्सप्लॉयटेशन एंड डिस्क्रिमिनेशन. Risk of exploitation and discrimination. Remittance, reliance, economic vulnerability due to dependence on remittance. Economic vulnerability due to dependence on remittances. Social friction, tension due to cultural differences and resource competition. Tension due to cultural differences and resource competition. Lost investment, loss of investment in education and training from sending countries. Loss of investment in education and training from sending countries. Social disruption, family separation and challenges in cultural identity. Family separation and challenges in cultural identity. Way forward, facilitate integration, developed policies for effective community integration. Facilitate integration, developed policies for effective community integration. Improve migrant well-being. Improve migrant well-being. Ensure social security, housing and healthcare access. Ensure social security, housing and healthcare access. Protect migrant rights. Protect migrant right. Establish right protection mechanism. Establish rights protection mechanism. Invest in skills and opportunities. Invest in skills and opportunity. Enhance skills and create employment options. Enhance skill and create employment options. Promote social harmony. Promote social harmony. Foster cohesion through cultural exchange. Foster cohesion through cultural exchange. International cooperation. International cooperation. Work with international partners for safe. Work with international partners for safe. नेक्स्ट है छठवां चैप्टर, ह्यूमन सेटलमेंट्स एंड एसोसिएटेड इशूज़. ह्यूमन सेटलमेंट्स एंड एसोसिएटेड इशूज़. इन ज्योग्राफी, अ सेटलमेंट लोकेलिटी और populated place is a community in which people live. In geography, a settlement locality or populated place is a community in which people live. Settlements may include hamlets, villages, towns and cities. Settlements may include hamlets, villages, towns and cities. Settlements can broadly be divided into two types, rural or urban. Classification of settlements. Urban settlements. The population density in urban area is typically high. The population density in urban area is typically high, more than 400% per square kilometer. More than 400% per square kilometer. The following standards are used in India to categorize urban settlement. The following standards are used in India to categorize urban settlements. According to the 2011 census, there should be more than 5,000 people living there. There should be more than 5,000 people living there. At least 75% of working men should be employed in non-primary industries. At least 75% of the working men should be employed in non-primary industries. More than 400 people should live in each square kilometer. More than 400 people should live in each square kilometer. Rural settlements. Rural settlement. This is referring to communities of homes known as village, as well as the land nearby where residents obtain their foods. This is referring to communities of homes known as villages, as well as the land nearby where residents obtain their food. Especially in India, a village is a parcel of ground with definite boundaries for revenue purpose, without clear and consistent regards for its population, also known as moja in English. Specifically in India, a village is a parcel of ground with definite boundaries for revenue purpose, without clear and consistent record for their population, also known as moja in English. अर्बनाइजेशन इन इंडिया. अर्बनाइजेशन इन इंडिया. अर्बनाइजेशन हमें सोसाइटी में भी पढ़ना है, अर्बनाइजेशन हमें ज्योग्राफी में भी पढ़ना है. तो अर्बनाइजेशन इन इंडिया, द पॉपुलेशन ट्रांसफ़र फ्रॉम रूरल टू अर्बन रीजन. द पॉपुलेशन ट्रांसफ़र फ्रॉम अर्बन टू रूरल टू अर्बन रीजन. The resulting decline in the number of people living in rural areas and the method by which societies adjust to these transitions are all referred to as urbanization. The population transfer from rural to urban region, the resulting decline in the number of people living in rural area, and the method by which societies adjust to their transition are all referred to as urbanization. Status of urbanization in India. Status of urbanization in India. The urban population of India attained a value of 475 million people in 2021. The urban population of India attained a value of 475 million people in 2021. In 2021, India's urbanization rate was 1.34%. India's urbanization rate was 1.34%. In 2021, India's urbanization rate climbed 1.5 year over year. India's urbanization rate climbed 1.5 year over year. The indicators climbed by 19.6 from 2010 to 2021. The indicators climbed by 19.6% from 2010 to 2021. Between 2010 to 21, India's urbanization rate was at its highest in 2021. India's urbanization rate was at its highest in 2021 and at its lowest in 2010. Reason for increasing urbanization. Reason for increasing urbanization. पहला है economic opportunities, access to essential services, improved infrastructure, rural to urban migration, population growth and urban sprawl. पहला है economic opportunities. Economic opportunities that cities provide for the people. Economic opportunities that cities provide for the people. 68% of the world population is projected to live in urban area by 2050. 68% of the world population is projected to live in urban area by 2050. UN का report. Urban area provide better access to essential services such as healthcare and education. Urban areas provide better access to essential services such as healthcare and education. Improved infrastructure. Improved infrastructure including roads, public transport, electricity and internet connectivity. Improved infrastructure including roads, public transport, electricity and internet connectivity. Rural to urban migration. Rural to urban migration in search of a better quality of life and opportunities. Rural to urban migration in search of a better quality of life and opportunities. Population growth and urban sprawl. Population growth and urban sprawl. The population grows and cities expand outward, incorporating surroundings area into the urban fabric, a phenomenon known as urban sprawl. The population grows and cities expand outward, incorporating surroundings area into the urban fabric, a phenomenon known as urban sprawl. Problem with India's urbanization. Problems with India's urbanization. Overcrowding and housing shortages. Overcrowding, housing shortages, infrastructure strain, environmental degradation, social inequality, resource scarcity, the COVID-19 pandemic. Overcrowding and housing shortages resulting in an proliferation of slum. Overcrowding and housing shortages resulting in the proliferation of slums. Infrastructure strain, public transport, sewage struggle to keep pace with the growing population. Public transport, sewage struggle to keep pace with the growing population. Environmental degradation, air and water pollution, loss of green spaces, and higher solid waste. Air and water pollution, loss of green spaces, higher solid waste. Social inequality, many urban poor lack access to quality education, employment opportunities. Many urban poor lacks access to quality education, employment opportunities. Resource scarcity, cities often struggle with water shortage, over extraction of groundwater. Cities often struggle with water shortage, over extraction of groundwater. The COVID 19 pandemic has worsened the plight of the urban poor and slum residents. The COVID 19 pandemic has worsened the plight of the urban poor and slum residents. Next, the faulty pattern of urbanization. The faulty pattern of urbanization. Social cultural implication. Social cultural implication. Gated community, mental health, social immovability, education and public health, water supply and sewage problem, urban crimes. इसको डिटेल में पढ़ते हैं. गेटेड कम्युनिटीज़ में लिखेंगे द राइज ऑफ गेटेड कम्युनिटीज़. द राइज ऑफ, हाँ, पहला है सोशल कल्चरल इम्प्लीकेशन. सोशल कल्चरल इम्प्लीकेशन में लिखेंगे पहला गेटेड कम्युनिटीज़. द राइज ऑफ गेटेड कम्युनिटीज़ मैनिफेस्ट इनटू कॉस्मोपॉलिटन area surrounded by lower middle class poor ghettos slums. The rise of gated communities manifest into cosmopolitan area surrounded by lower middle class poor ghettos slum. Mental health, huge mental barriers between the different habitations of slum. Huge mental barrier between the different habitations of slum. Social immovability, lack of opportunity. Leads to the informalization of ghettos in terms of employment, which result in a lack of upward social mobility. Social immobility, lack of opportunity leads to the informalization of ghettos in terms of employment, with result in a lack of upward social mobility. Education and public health. They have to rely on public schools and hospitals. Water supply and sewerage problem. Slum dwellers have to rely on tankers. Urban crime, due to lack of formalization of employment, the youth are more prone to crime. Measures and suggestions. In situ slum rehabilitation program. Amrit 2015. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana 2015. Smart City Mission. Gender sensitive infrastructure should be priority. In situ slum rehabilitation program. It will remove the fear of removal from their sites. In situ slum rehabilitation program, it will remove the fear of removal from their sites. Amrit, assuring that every family has access to a tap with a guaranteed supply of water and a sewer connection in the goal of the Atal innovation. Assuring that every family has access to a tap with a guaranteed supply of water and a sewer connection is the goal of the Atal mission. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana 2015. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban 2015, by offering a rebate on the interest rate of home loan during repayment via EMI. Interest rate of a home loan during repayment via EMI. Smart City Mission has the potential to mitigate poverty in the cities. Smart City Mission has the potential to mitigate poverty in the cities. Gender sensitive infrastructure should be priority. Human settlement and water pollution. Human settlement and water pollution. Over 377 million urban people live in 7,935 towns, cities, and generate 62 million tons of municipal solid waste per annum. Lakes, water bodies are battling waste disposal, deposition of pollutants, and continuous disposal of waste have severely affected the lakes. Over 377 million urban people live in 7,935 towns and cities and generate 62 million tons of municipal solid waste per annum. Lakes and water bodies are battling waste disposal, deposition of pollutants, and continuous disposal of waste have severely affected the lakes. Significance of urban water bodies. Significance of urban water bodies. Significance पहला है reduce urban heat island effect. Reduce urban heat island effect. Water bodies stabilize the microclimate parameters. Carbon sequestration is possible. Employment generation. तो पहला है reduce urban heat island effect. Water bodies will absorb more heat before the surrounding begin to get warmer. Urban water bodies will absorb more heat before the surroundings begins to get warmer. Water bodies stabilize the microclimate parameters. Water bodies stabilize the microclimate parameters. Carbon sequestration is possible. Employment generation. Causes of urban water bodies pollution. Causes of urban water body pollution. Rapid unplanned urbanization. Rapid unplanned urbanization. Discharge of untreated sewage. Discharge of untreated sewage. Limitations of state authorities. Limitations of state authorities. The state disaster mitigation plan has a limited scope. The state disaster mitigation plan has a limited scope. Religious and social practices. Religious and social practices. Carcasses of cattle and other animals are disposed of in river or water bodies. Carcasses of cattle and other animals are disposed of in river or water bodies. Way forward to improve the condition of urban water bodies. Way forward to improve the conditions of urban water bodies. पहला है improving the capacity of urban drainage system. Improving the capacity of urban drainage system. Restricting encroachment. Restricting encroachment. थर्ड है ensuring planned urbanization. Ensuring planned urbanization. फोर्थ है stakeholders participation and capacity building for better management of urban water bodies. Stakeholders participation and capacity building for better management of urban water bodies. Proper monitoring of industrial waste. Proper monitoring of industrial waste. Human settlement and air pollution. Next है human settlement and air pollution. Impact of air pollution. Impact of air pollution. Urban heat island effect. Health issues. Mental health. Agricultural impact. Biodiversity on building and materials. तो पहला है urban heat island effect. Urban heat island effect. Almost 85% of the urban area is covered with concrete structure. Almost 85% of the urban area is covered with concrete structure. Health issues. Over 1.67 million annual death from stroke, heart attack, diabetes. Over 1.67 million annual death from चलने में दिक्कत हो रही क्या? Death from strokes, health attack, heart attack and diabetes. Mental health. Chronic exposure to polluted environment can contribute to stress and anxiety. Chronic exposure to polluted environments can contribute to stress and anxiety. Agricultural impact. Air pollution, particularly ground level ozone, negatively affect crop yield. Air pollution, particularly ground level ozone, negatively affects crop yields. Biodiversity. Air pollution, SO2, NOx emission in the atmosphere undergo oxidation. On building and materials, emission of SOx and sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide can damage plant animal life as well as material surfaces and potentially cause structural damage. तेरा ये खा के पानी पी ले. Causes of air pollution. Causes of air pollution. Burning of urban waste, diesel soot, vehicular exhaust, road and construction dust. Burning of urban waste, diesel soot, vehicular exhaust, road and construction dust. Unplanned urbanization. haphazard growth of urban area has led to the क्या यही है, पी ले, नींबू पानी है। तेरी मैया की लाइट चली गई। Causes of air pollution: burning of urban waste, diesel soot, vehicular exhaust, road and construction dust. नेक्स्ट है अनप्लान्ड अर्बनाइजेशन। अनप्लान्ड अर्बनाइजेशन में लिखेंगे हैजार्डस ग्रोथ ऑफ अर्बन एरिया। हैजार्डस growth of urban area has led to the proliferation of slums and poor public transport has increased the burden of personal vehicle on the road. Haphazard growth of urban area has led to the proliferation of slums and poor public transport has increased the burden of personal vehicle on the road. Vehicle emissions: exhaust from cars, trucks and buses release pollutants like nitrogen oxides, carbon monoxides and particulate matter. Exhaustions from cars, trucks and buses release pollutants like nitrogen oxides, carbon monoxides and particulate matter. Agricultural activities: use of pesticides, fertilizers and burning of crop residues. Use of pesticides, fertilizers and burning of crop residues. Poor governance: the issue of environment and pollution is still to get the policy priority. The issue of environment and pollution is still to get the policy priority. Firecrackers were nevertheless used extensively during Diwali despite the ban. Firecrackers were nevertheless used extensively during Diwali despite the ban. Steps to combat air pollution. Steps to combat air pollution. पहला है नेशनल क्लीन एयर प्रोग्राम। नेशनल क्लीन एयर प्रोग्राम प्राण पोर्टल फ्यूल गैस डीसल्फराइजेशन BS6 व्हीकल स्क्रैपिंग पॉलिसी नेशनल एम्बियंट एयर क्वालिटी स्टैंडर्ड्स नेशनल क्लीन एयर प्रोग्राम टू मॉनिटर एयर क्वालिटी अक्रॉस इंडिया नेशनल क्लीन एयर प्रोग्राम NCAP to monitor air quality across India. Pran portal was introduced in non-attainment cities. Fuel gas desulfurization industries in urban areas must comply with desulfurization norm. Industries in urban area must comply with desulfurization norms. BS6 vehicles, a quantum jump from BS4 to BS6 and the subsequent electric vehicles. A quantum jump from BS4 to BS6 and subsequent electric vehicles. Vehicle scrapping policy. It would arrest the increasing pollution from old vehicles. National ambient air quality standard. Notification of industry specific emission and effluent limit as well as national ambient air quality standards. Climate change impact on coastal Indian cities. Climate change का impact on coastal Indian cities. Sea level rise, salt water intrusion, erosion and coastal degradation. पहला है sea level rise. 27 million people in Mumbai may be affected by climate change by 2035 with a high risk of flooding and sea level rise. 27 million people in Mumbai may be affected by climate change by 2035 with a high risk of flooding and sea level rise. Saltwater intrusion. Rising sea level also contribute to saltwater intrusion into coastal aquifers affecting the quality and availability of freshwater resources. Rising sea levels also contribute to saltwater intrusion into coastal aquifers affecting the quality and availability of freshwater resources. Erosion and coastal degradation. Erosion rates are expected to increase, jeopardizing coastal habitats, tourist attraction and others. Erosion rates are expected to increase, jeopardizing coastal habitats, tourist attraction and other. Climate smart cities assessment and its impact. Climate smart cities assessment and its impact. To inculcate climate sensitive approach to urban planning and development, the climate smart cities assessment framework for 100 smart cities was launched by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs to inculcate a climate sensitive approach to urban planning and development. The Climate Smart Cities Assessment Framework for 100 Smart Cities was launched by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. The framework has 30 diverse indicators across 5 sectors that monitor and guide the cities. Composition in 5 to 7 Indian cities over the course of 2 years, the forum and NIUA will adopt the forum's city sprint process and toolbox of solution for decarbonization. City sprint process toolbox solution. City sprint process, a series of workshops including representation from business, government, civil society. Civil society is part of the city sprint process when where toolbox solution, it offers a digital platform with more than 200 examples of best practices for clean electrification, efficiency and smart infrastructure in building, energy systems and mobility from more than 110 towns worldwide. It offers a digital platform with more than 200 examples of best practices for clean electrification, efficiency, and smart infrastructure in building, energy system, and mobility from one more than mobility from more than 110 towns worldwide. Conclusion: at present, India is seeing a high pace of urbanization, but its unplanned nature and deregulation developed created socio-economic implication. At present, India is seeing a high pace of urbanization, but its unplanned nature and deregulated development created socio-economic implications. The situation further worsened due to its underwoven relation with the climate change. The Climate Smart Cities Assessment Framework brings this intricate bonding, and through this substantial development goal 11, sustainable cities and communities can be achieved. Way ahead for sustainable and inclusive human settlement. Way ahead for sustainable and inclusive human settlement. Inclusive cities, affordable housings, delivery of services, integration. India must make urban planning a central. पहला है inclusive cities. In cities, the poor and lower income groups must be integrated into the mainstream. In cities, the poor and lower income group must be integrated into the mainstream. The planning should take into account the needs of the marginalized groups such as housing, health, water, transportation, and other services at a reasonable pricing. Affordable housing, it is a significant concern for low income population, and in the absence of feasible model that meets their need, India can tackle the problem by enacting a series of regulation and incentives that would bridge the price affordability gap. Delivery of services, the major job of ULBs should be to manage the water. they they should be in charge of water supply and distribution in their geographical jurisdiction, whether from their own sources or through collaboration with parastatal and other service provider. Integration, to establish sustainable cities or metropolitan region, they integrate multiple urban development and related program at the municipal, state and national level. पंखा खोलना हो तो खोल लेना. India must make urban planning a central by recognized function by investing in talented people, a rigorous fact foundation and innovation urban design. In recent year, the government has launched a number of initiatives targeted at urban planning and administration, including Smart City, Amrit, Digital India, Swachh Bharat, Hriday. For this program to succeed, they need a solid foundation of effective planning and management. Conclusion: human settlements are complex and dynamic systems influenced by a myriad of social, economic, environmental factors. Understanding the distribution, structure, and function of settlement helps in addressing urban and rural challenges such as housing shortages, infrastructure deficits, and environmental degradation. Sustainable development practice and effective urban planning are crucial to mitigate these issues and enhance the quality of life. As population continues to grow and migrate, adaptive strategy must be implemented to ensure that human settlement remains resilient and inclusive, fostering harmonious coexistence with the natural environment. कीवर्ड्स नहीं पढ़ना आगे है मैंडेट एनर्जी एंड ग्रीन मैंडेट है एनर्जी एंड ग्रीन बिल्डिंग मोबिलिटी एंड एयर क्वालिटी वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट अर्बन प्लानिंग ग्रीन कवर एंड डाइवर्सिटी वाटर रिसोर्स मैनेजमेंट। तो पहला है मैंडेट एनर्जी एंड ग्रीन बिल्डिंग it aims to achieve energy efficient street lighting in the city. It aims to achieve energy efficient street lighting in the city. Green building adoption and promotion. Mobility and air quality. Adequate availability of public transport would be ensured. Along with this, clean technologies shared vehicle promoted clean technologies shared vehicles promoted. Waste management. It aims to manage landfills and dump sites on scientific lines. So that a minimum amount of toxic gases and polluting gases get discharged into the atmosphere. अर्बन प्लानिंग में लिखें ग्रीन कवर एंड बायोडाइवर्सिटी। इंक्रीज इन ग्रीन कवर प्रमोट्स बायोडाइवर्सिटी एंड मेंटेन इकोलॉजिकल बैलेंस। ग्रीन कवर एंड बायोडाइवर्सिटी अर्बन प्लानिंग green cover and biodiversity. Increase in green cover promotes biodiversity and maintain ecological balance. Water resource management. Effective water resource management and adoption of an energy efficient waste water management system ensuring the availability of potable water. Effective water resource management and adoption of an energy efficient waste water management ensures the availability of potable water.